Okay, today we're going to talk about processing E6. I used to use Tetanol, which had a stabilizer, but Tetanol went away, and I've switched back to Arista. And Arista's great, easy, three-bath system, and I'm going to show the way that I use it. Of course, everybody has their own style, but this style that I've put together over the years, learning from YouTube videos, seems to work pretty well. So, of course, we're starting out with the quart of Arista. You can get a gallon. And I used to buy the gallon, but the problem is unless you're using it a lot, you don't go through it fast enough, and the partially opened bottles, they deteriorate. So I found that even though doing the quarts is a little bit more expensive, it really is so much easier, and you don't run into nearly the problem of the chemicals deteriorating. So I like to use these Jobo clear bottles, and you can see I've already have some mixed. And the nice thing about these are that, well, one nice thing is you can sort of squeeze them until the liquid comes right to the top, and then tighten it up, and it holds pretty well, so you're not getting any unnecessary air in there. They have those brown squeeze bottles, but I find that those are just horrible to work with. So this works well for me. This is what I use to do the mixing. That's another good thing about the quart, is that since I mix one quart at a time, I don't really have to worry about the measurements, because the exact amount is in each bottle that you need to use. So I just pour it into here, and then I use the distilled water. The first time I did E6, I just used tap water, and that was a horror show. There were all kinds of problems with flakes coming into the chemicals, and stuff floating on the top. Just horrible. So make sure that you used distilled water or filtered water of some sort. And I also like these, I guess they're Paterson tanks. So rather than putting the top on and doing this and spillage, this works great, and I can agitate with this little twister. The other thing that I recommend is for the reels, this reel that has, let's see if you can see this, has this little insert landing strip, so you could put film in here, and it's a lot easier than without it. Obviously you're working in a changing bag, so you can just feel this and slide the film into there. It goes in very easily and works great. So that's that. The other thing is I can do up to 3 reels. Here's the 3-reel tank, and a quart will pretty well fill it up with a little bit extra. So I can do 1 to 3 reels of film. So here's the other style of Paterson tank, which sort of does a sealed top. And right now there's a stabilizer photo flow mix that I put together. More information that I found on the internet through YouTube. And I can keep this going for a full quart worth of processing. So the mix that I use is I have 10 milliliters of formaldehyde. It's 37% formaldehyde. I guess I'm not sure if you can see that. And along with that, I use 5 milliliters of photo flow. So this acts as the stabilizer, and then photo flow allows the water, the wash water from the final rinse to, after you've washed it, you use the photo flow just for 1 minute, and when you hang it, the liquid drips off the film very well, so you don't have any spots, water spots, which is definitely not desirable. So that's been working really well. I don't need to use a squeegee, and you don't have to worry about not having stabilizer, which keeps the film supposedly, in the full color of the film for much longer. And it's hard to test that, but I'm happy to use this formaldehyde, which apparently is poisonous, so please be careful with it. Okay, we've got a new kit, Quart Kit, Arista, and we've got a mixing bowl here with a stirrer, calibrated, and distilled water. So that's all we need, and we're going to open this up. And first we're going to do color developer. There's Blix. There's color developer. Now let's do first developer first. There's Blix and Blix and color developer. All right, so first developer. We've got the first quart bottle. I like these Jobo white bottles. You can see the liquid inside. I don't like the dark ones. I don't know why these are almost twice as much, but they're more expensive. In any case, let's see. We need 24 ounces of water, and there's 8 ounces of first developer right in here. So let's start with that and see if there's really 8 ounces. I hate these little tops. Right. And let's see if this is 8. Yep. Looks to be right at 8 here. So now I'm going to stir in 24 of water, and that should bring us up to 32. It's right on the money. So now pour this in. I know you haven't got the best angle here. Okay, first is done. Okay, so I rinsed out the measuring cup and also the stirrer. Make sure you rinse it out very well. And now we're on the color developer. So we've got the bottle here, and we'll mix in 8 ounces of step 1. Okay, should be 8. And there's 8. And 2 ounces color developer. Second step. Bring this up to 10. And then 22 ounces of distilled water. That'll bring us up to 32. Try to get exact as possible. Yeah, that looks like it's on the money. And to the color. I'm not getting a very good angle here. Alrighty. There's our color. Okay, so the Blix is 3-part, and we'll start with, let's see, this is 8 ounces. Looks like 8. And then 8 of part 2. And then just 2 ounces of final part. And then 14 ounces brings us up to 32, 14 of the water. Okay, so pour this into the bottle. Here we are with my E6 setup in the bathroom. I've made this sink into one that accommodates E6 processing, but of course you can do it probably in any situation where there's running water. In this case, I've added a thermometer to the faucet, which tells me the temperature, which is very handy. I've got this water container, bin, and a sous vide temperature control. It's for cooking, but I was able to use it for keeping the temperature of the water at a consistent level, and thanks to another YouTuber for pointing that out to me. I have this timer, which works really well, rather than using my phone, which is currently being used to capture this E6 processing tutorial. I've been doing this for a few years now, and I think I've got it down pretty well. Today we're going to be processing a 3-reel tank. I believe it's called a Paterson tank. And I've got the temperature of the water, and these chemicals should be, here are the chemicals. They should be ready, and one thing I can do is I look at the sous vide, and I see it's showing 104.9, but the temperature is usually a little bit over that. So while I'm washing, doing the pre-wash over here, set the timer. Usually it takes 1.5 of these. Okay, so that's pre-washing, and in the meantime I can check out the first developer to see if the temperature is likely at 106 or 107, and we want it to be 105. So I'm going to try that. And indeed it is 107, so you can't see it. But while that cools down, I'm going to put another warm bath in there. Let's see what this reads. This is reading 107, so that's pretty accurate. All of a sudden this is up to 106. You know, these things aren't always exact, but the first developer is the most critical, so that's the one that I want to try and get right at 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Right now it's 106, so I'm going to dump this wash water and put it in another, just to make sure everything is clean and up to temperature. And today we're processing 3, so I'm going to add that to my list. Today's September 26th, and we're going to go 6 minutes and 30 seconds on the color development. Okay, we're down to 106. That's pretty close. Close enough. Rinse that off. Pour out the wash water. And we're going to put in first developer. Go to 0 and start the timer. I just like to see the liquid at the top, and we do a 45. Well, we agitate it till the timer gets to 45 seconds. Keep going. I think this is much better than hand agitate, lifting up the canister and turning it around. It's all messy. This works just great. Alright, so when we get to 1 minute, we're going to agitate every 30 seconds. I go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish. And then while we're waiting for this, sorry to forget to get out of the camera's way here. Usually I do a little bit of exercise. I have a dumbbell, I have some stretch bands, and in between the agitation I can do a little bit of exercise. So obviously you're not going to want to wait through all the agitations, but you get the idea. Every 30 seconds give it a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of deal. And here we are at 2 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're getting up to 6 minutes, and so since it's 6.5, we're going to do the agitation at 6. And there it is. And then we're going to rinse off agitator and pour out the first developer back into the bottle. And it's in there, and then we turn the timer back on from 0 and start the washing. So the way I do it is 30 seconds, 5 washes at 30 seconds each. And you'll see that I push this up so that the liquid comes as close to the top as we can, then tighten it up so there's as little air as possible left. And okay, so we're at 30, pouring out first wash, and the second wash. Right. Shake it up and pour it out. Third wash. Pour it out. Fourth wash. Okay, and fifth and final wash. I usually leave this in just a little bit longer, so it ends up being a total of about 3 minutes of washing. And if I pull this out, maybe you can see that better. Okay, so the next is going to be the color developer, and that doesn't change. Basically, it's always 4.5 minutes plus. So you can go over, that's not a problem, but you don't need to extend it like you do the first developer. Okay, so that should be nice and clean. We're going to go back to 0 and color developer. And pour it in and start the clock. Agitate until it says 45 seconds. Then we'll put it in the bath to try and keep the temperature up. It's a little slippery because it's still wet, so sometimes what I'll do is take a paper towel and just dry it off so it's not so slippery. Okay, 45 seconds and into the bath. Paper towel. Dry it off a bit. And 1 minute, sorry. Give it a nice agitation. Okay, now every 30 seconds until 4.5 minutes. Now, one thing forgot to mention is that we need more water in here because we used most of it for the washing. So what we'll need to do is add more. So I turn on the faucet until it gets up to where we want it to be, 40.5. Then I try to add the 40.5, which is that's Celsius and equals 105 Fahrenheit. So it's going up and gets up to where we want it. Doesn't have to be exact, especially for the flicks. Bring it down, and I almost forgot to agitate. Okay, so let's bring it down a bit. Keep an eye on that timer and make sure you get all those agitations in. This is close enough to 40.5, 39. Flicks is not as critical. We're still obviously with the color developer here. Okay, 3.5 minutes. Agitate. Okay, we're up there. All good. Almost 4 minutes. Okay, agitation, rinse, and we're out the color developer. And by the time we're done pouring, it's going to be well over the 430 mark. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you go over. These bubbles are popping out. You want to go a little slow. Okay, and back to 0. And start again for the wash. And same thing, 5 washes. Okay, so again, I'm going to squeeze this so there's as little air as possible, and then tighten this up. Pour it out. Okay, that's been washed. Back to 0. Okay, here is the Blix. And as I pour, hit the timer. pouring until I see liquid bobbing up. There it is. And agitate to 45 seconds. And you don't need to put it back in the bath. Again, the temperature isn't critical on the flicks, but I have it right there, so why not? Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now every 30 seconds for 10 minutes. Okay, we're approaching 9:30 and agitation, another 30 seconds, it will be 10-minute mark. So what we'll do is just give it another quick agitation, rinse off, and pour it out. Not a lot of foam, so hopefully you can see a little bit better how you can squeeze the bottle so the liquid comes right to the top and then lock it down for as little air as possible. Alright, so now we're going to do a final wash, which is 5 minutes. We'll start back to 0. And so what I do is I'll put in water from the bin, and then I'll take water from the faucet. And it should be still warm, so we want to get it again right around 45. And it's a little above, so I can take it down. And 41, let's pop it in. This is a nice connector and hose unit so that the water goes through the bottom and comes up through the film and spills out the edges. So we're right at 45, there's 41, all close enough. I see it's inching up. We can take it down a notch. And there it is going down. Okay, so we are getting close to 5 minutes. I'm shutting down. Pull this out. Again, special connector right here. And wash. And with any luck, I'm always still nervous that I did something wrong. Even though I don't think it's ever happened, but you just never know. Okay, so there's the film. I think I see some exposures. What I'm going to do is put it into I have a stabilizer photo flow mixture that I put together, since Arista doesn't provide the stabilizer like Tetanol did. But this seems to work perfectly fine, and so it's 1 minute for this. I forgot to start at 1 minute for this, but obviously it doesn't have to be exact. One thing that you really want exact is the first developer. And I might just give it a little spin here and there. Okay, so we are pretty close to 1 minute. This comes off. And okay, so let's see how this looks. Here's one. Sneak it out. And okay, it looks like there's something there. And we're going to hang it right here. And what I'm going to do is take one side off. And I finger it down. There we go. And I have a little weight, clip weight, put on the bottom. And number 2. These are Ektachrome. Someone else's Ektachrome I'm processing. I don't like Ektachrome very much. Okay, alright. A lot of blank area. Unexposed frames. And finally, a roll of Fuji, which should look perfect. Yep, looks great. And a little weight, clip on. Alright, I usually let these dry for about 3 hours, then I reverse roll them. Alright, so now it's just a matter of, you want to wash the photo flow off of these guys. Alright, they sort of get brown after a while. But hopefully washing them a bit mitigates that. So that's it. I'll show you how to reverse roll them when they're dry.